Yo, what's going on, Cowboys fans? It's your boy, Foot's the King now. I did a live stream yesterday with Joe Rodriguez. You guys go check it out. Just some off-season topics talking about, who is the most important Cowboy, who are the most important Cowboys on this team. But I would be remiss, and I can't believe I really let it slip. I don't want that to be forgotten or this to be forgotten. Just to say thank you. 30K subscribers, 30K family members, not fans, but family. That means the world to me. You guys know me. Basic setup, just me, my thoughts, just me talking ball. Even with this OTA video, just me giving my thoughts, and the fact that you guys care, the fact that you guys engage, and I try my hardest to engage back. You all who check in on my music, check in, with the things I do around the community. That means the world to me. So I just want you guys to know just how much that means to me. 30K people who believe in me. I know when we get to 100, it'll be that much more special. Shout out to my whole community in the YouTube family: Okoye, Law, Vach, Mark Holmes, Skywalker Still, Joe Rodriguez, everybody that I've worked with, DMV, DMV football. All my friends in the YouTube community who are just regular friends of mine who just show love and show support. That means the world to me. So I can't I would be remiss if I didn't just say thank you. And the thing is, I'm trying to work on doing more stuff. So trying to get maybe some reporters on here, some players on here, just doing more stuff to get you guys content. And the goal for me is, hey, let's see how far we can take this thing. Because at the end of the day, for me, right, it's just me giving my football knowledge. I wouldn't even say expertise, but everything that I've studied along the years, this team, following this team, the vibe, and just giving my thoughts straight to you guys. And the fact that you guys respect it, it means the world to me. So just thank you guys so much. Let's continue to grow. Foot's the King, Cowboys Nation TV. Started off as Cowboys Nation TV. Now it's just Foot's the King. But you guys who've been here know what time it is. So thank you guys. OTA Recap. Week 1 is in the books, and we got some information, right? We got some reporters out there watching practice. And what are OTAs? OTAs are install periods. They're not hitting. Actually, it was written today that Kelvin Joseph kind of pulled off of a guy because he didn't want to get fined because they can't be so physical. So it's glorified two-hand touch. But they're moving around, they're installing, they're getting their base stuff, who they want to be. The identity, how we want to practice, how we want to break, how we want to stretch, how we want to hand the ball off, our mesh point, all those types of things. So now when you get to camp and it's two-a-days, and these aren't real two-a-days, these are walk-through, and then they'll hit at points in camp and all that type of stuff. We can move fast, we can play fast. And I think that Mike McCarthy, with his coaching experience, he knows exactly how these installs need to go. Their play action period, their run game period, their red zone period. And then already being with Dak, he knows what Dak likes, what Dak doesn't like. And that's why I think that this offense will roll and will click. So, again, we're not going to go overboard, but there are some things that we've seen, and let's talk about them. So, I got my notes here. The first thing is that Kelvin Joseph at safety. Now, what does this mean? Kelvin Joseph being that second-round pick, and I believe the class that Michael was drafted, let's be honest, he just hasn't shown improved. Him or Nashawn Wright, really. Nashawn has been okay on, special teams and, spot duty. Kelvin has hurt you more than he's helped you. We just have to be honest about that. The Jacksonville game was awful. He just hasn't shown anything to the point that they went out and signed Stefan Gilmore. Well, the truth of the matter is this: Gilmore and Bland are probably your answers at outside corner. Kelvin Joseph is now being moved to safety, and he's getting some looks at safety. And apparently, he made a play on the ball today. That's cool. The question with Joseph when he was drafted was, did he love football? And I remember going back and forth with people saying, I like the guy, but when you hear this much about his love for the game, the skill may not outweigh that non-love for the game. And he's had some run-ins with certain things, and the truth of the matter is, when they start moving your position, they're trying to justify you playing. And he did do good on special teams last year, so let's give him credit for that. But let's just see how this turns out, because we got to also remember the safety room is really deep. Izzy came on late. Malik Hooker's been a stud. well, I wouldn't say stud, but he's been really good. Donovan Wilson's been a stud. And Jaron Kearse is basically a captain out there. So I don't know if this is just like, I'm not going to go overboard with him being there, because the truth of the matter is he hasn't done what he's supposed to do in the cornerback room. And now, you drafted other players in the cornerback room. They've kind of jumped you. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. Now, this is some good news. And I got 3 players with juice. Gallup showing juice, Cooks showing juice, and Deuce Vaughn showing juice. So Kyle Humans, who covers the Cowboys, works for .com. He said those were kind of the players that stood out to him. And the beautiful thing about that is, I had to think to myself, we brought in James Washington to be kind of who Brandon Cooks is going to be. Now, I thought of him as a 3, and Michael Gallup last year being your 2. I think it's clear that Gallup is going to be this team's 3, and Cooks is going to be your 2. But however you get to the equation, you need a guy opposite of CeeDee Lamb who can win. All right? I think that what T.Y. Hilton was able to do for you at times, you need that consistently. And I actually like what T.Y. was able to do for you at times, right? Like, T.Y. was able to just go out and be the number 2 corner and get to spots, run to grass. If you can get that consistently from Cooks, no matter what the scheme is, just go out and beat that too. Because we have to remember, how many great cornerback duos are there in the NFL? Like, how many great are there? Dallas has one. Thank God we went out and got Stefan Gilmore, but there were even times last year, for as good as Bland was, he struggled. But if a team can sit a safety over top of your 1, like teams did with CD, now things start to get goofy. And this is not saying that Dak needs all these resources, but it's nice that Joe Burrow has T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Tyler Boyd. That's nice. And then they went out and got him another weapon. So I think that the fact that you see those players having juice, and even with Deuce Vaughn, I said this, and I think that a lot of Cowboys kind of content creators and writers and people who cover the team have said this. It's going to be hard to keep Deuce Vaughn off the field because he adds a different element. It's just like when you see, how can I put this? When you have a guy who can run your second offense in basketball, who can come in and still give you like something different from your first team, he's going to play. Even if it's your 2s, he's going to play. With Pollard being a guy who has juice, and he's on this list obviously, with Pollard being a guy who has juice, if Vaughn can come in and add a second layer of that juice, and now these guys have been chasing Pollard, now they got to go chase Deuce Vaughn, it's kind of scary. Rojo is kind of a wild card, and Lukey is kind of a wild card. And we'll just have to see what pads come on, because that's when their game is going to show. But I just think that the things that Deuce Vaughn can do, you don't have enough time as a defense in the week to prepare for a guy like that. So again, just seeing and seeing that these guys are moving around well, that's cool. And that's something that, even in OTAs, you'll be able to see the juice that they have. Even the 7-on-7 period, which they did have today, you'll be able to see the juice they have, and that's cool. Terrence Steele will start somewhere. So the great Michael Gelkin, I think that he's taken over, to me, is probably the best reporter for the Cowboys. Him and John Machota, to me, are 2 of the best reporters for the Cowboys. They know what they're looking at. They have an idea of scheme. They have an idea of, like, real football things that are happening. And Michael Gelkin said, and I think he has a good pulse of the team, he said, it's going to be hard. Terrence Steele is in your best 5. But so is Tyron Smith. So what that's telling me is, you read between the tea leaves, get ready for Terrence Steele to play some left guard. If I just had to throw that out there, I'm not breaking news or anything, but get ready for Terrence Steele to play some left guard next to Tyler Smith, because I don't think that they are going to move Tyler Smith back to guard. I know that everybody on Twitter wants him going back to guard. I just think that they like his upside. We got to remember, Tyler Smith was 20. He's 21. 21, I don't know. I don't think he's 22. He was 20 when he was drafted. So Tyler Smith still has, he's going to get better as a tackle, right? And he wasn't bad. He was like really good as a tackle last year. So, and with Steele, I saw a great run blocker, and I think that they're projecting him as a great run blocker inside. He's not the stout build of a Tyler Smith, but I mean, there were times last year where I just flat out saw him push, Who's the Eagles D tackles? Name one. I mean, that first game against Philly, he was just pushing them around. So I think that there's going to be a world where Tyron Smith starts at right tackle. Zach Martin's not going anywhere. Biage isn't going anywhere. So the position to watch is left guard, that I think, and may the best man win. But I don't see how you can't play Terrence Steele because he developed so well before the injury. And then my last two, just the fact that Gilmore is already making plays. Apparently, they were doing 7-on-7, and Gallup was getting 2 straight passes, and then Stefan Gilmore breaks one up. Just the fact that you hear his name being mentioned, that's a good thing to me. That's a good sign. You have 2 lockdown corners. This defense is going to be outstanding. If barring injury, this defense is going to be really good. I'm telling you. The only hole would be the run game, but this offense will do enough to get you leads, and then they can still pin their ears back. But when teams do want to slow the game down and run down your throat, I don't think they'll be able to this year. And now you have 2 studs on the outside. Because I'm going to tell you, Gilmore is still a stud. To be a 2, he's still a stud. And then Diggs we know who Diggs is, right? And then Bland, that's a special cornerback room. Anthony Brown, I know it's tough because he gave us so many years, but now you got what you got here, is what it is. And then just the fact that Tony Pollard was out there coming off the injury, and I think that they monitored his usage today. But just the fact that he was out there, that's always a good sign because you didn't know how he was going to return from the injury, but everything seems to be positive there, and that's really big because Tony Pollard is your starting running back. There's no Ezekiel Elliott to lean on anymore, and I don't think that they're going to bring him back. And you don't bring Zeke back for a few reasons. Just because his name is too big, there's never going to be a way where you could just sit Zeke. It's just not going to happen. He's never going to take a backseat to a Pollard. So you just remove him from the building and you let Pollard run the show. So I'm happy about that. So these are some takeaways. How many takeaways did I give y'all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 takeaways. And this is an OTA recap. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, thank you guys so much. You guys get in the comments. What are you guys hearing? What are you guys seeing? Let me know. It's your boy Futz as always. Thank you guys for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I can't do any of this without you. I love it here, man.